Hi traders and welcome back to the Smart Money Insight. My name is Rein and today we would like to take a closer look at this stock called Emerson Electric. Well, the stock code is EMR. Now, the stock has been in the spotlight recently for its strong performance and showing a substantial gain. And for those of you who kind of new with the business of the company, well, the business includes automation solutions, means that it's offering product and technology that enable businesses to automate their manufacturing processes. Well, I would say that it also operates in a commercial and residential solution segments, which providing solutions like heating, ventilations, air conditionings, and other systems that designed to improve the comfort and energy efficiency in both residential and commercial settings. Now, what is so exciting about this stock or the business, I would say that the EMR, well, the business, I would say is pretty aligned with Trump's policy, the new elected president, which the policy is promoting for manufacturing growth and energy independence. And so recent, the KeyBank Capital Markets just recently raised its price target for the stock Emerson Electric from $125 to $140. So relative to the current price, I would say we still have well about 10% potential upside gain. So now let's explore the factors of this recent surge and let's see whether or not likely we can ride on these 10% upsides. Now let's take a look at its fundamental data here. Well, first, let's take a look at its PEG ratio, which is still at 1.60. I would say that it is pretty appealing, okay, especially when you compare to its peers. Stays at 2.02 or even at the market, which is about 2.41. Well, this lower PEG ratio of 1.6, well, I would say that this suggests the stock, the EMR, has more value of its earning growth rate. So I would say that it is pretty attractive option for a growth-oriented investors that looking for value in a potential earning expansions. Now, the second one also you want to see at the net margin over here. Well, the net margin is 11.25%, which is, I would say, better than the industry standards of 8.98%. All right. So this reflects I would say the efficiency that a company has in operating the business compared to many of its manufacturing peers. Now, next, let's take a look at its technical stance today. Well, over here, we do have a weekly chart of the Emerson Electric company. And as per today, the price is sitting around $127.19. Now, let's take a look at the longer time horizon here. Right, as you can see, there are two big channels. All right, now let's talk about this, the what I call as a key trend. The key trend, the green color channel here, which is showing a well-defined long-term uptrend with a consistent support and resistance level. And we know that, now take a look here, this strong upward channel is a very appealing investment, so-called, for long-term investors. And that simply means, well, for short-term traders, that this appeal coming from the long-term investor could be a very good support level for short-term traders, all right? And over here, there's what I would say a steeper, shorter term trend, black color trend channel, which suggesting there is an acceleration of the price growth recently after I would say 2019, I mean the post-COVID era. So this black channel seems like helping to define this long-term key channel, all right? So at the same time, also want to be careful. It might pull back if the short-term momentum is unsustainable. Now let's take a look at its shorter trend by changing to a daily price chart. Well, for the stock, the EMR, as you can see, that recently broke above its key resistance level, which is around $120 level. And right now it is marking as the support level. Now, if the sentiment is still strong, then I would say very likely the stock will test out then the resistance level over here, which is around $134 to $136 level. And if the stronger momentum comes in, then I would say probably it will cross over this line and likely to test out further at the next resistance level around these $143 to $145 level. However, I would say if pullback happens, then it might fall down to back to this level, the support level around the $122 level, or back to this support level coming from the key trends around, I would say, $118 level. Now, we will analyze this further, I mean, its sentiment later coming from the option markets. Now, let's take a look at the potential coming from the smart money opportunity. And to do that, we would like to use our proprietary system called Trader GPS system. And to activate this Trader GPS is very simple. With just click of a button, all right, then, well, the system will help you to compute and to analyze the potential smart money opportunity. Now, take a look over here. Now, do you see that there are couples of arrows, green arrows here, right? So one over here, one over here, one over here, one over here, one over here. So this is where the system indicates a potential smart money coming into this stock. And well, let me explain to you about why traders and investors love to spot out this smart money opportunity. As you can see from this image, this chart, right? Well, the moment that smart money spot out, I would say very often it pushes, it drives the price upward. Now take a look historically. When the smart money here comes into the stock, then it helps to drive the price higher. So that simply means if you are investors or you are traders and you happen to join this ride together with the smart money, then you have the edge to have the gain, potential gain, coming from this smart money. And also that you probably are aware that looking at the chart here, well, whenever the bad news coming or not in your favor, then the damage or the drop is relatively more sustainable. Therefore, it's very important as a traders, you want to identify potential smart money when it comes to stock. Now, if you want to know more about Trader GPS system and how this system works, then you can check the link and at the descriptions below. Now, let's take a look more and analyze further into its option markets. Now, let's take a look at its implied volatility small chart. And for those of you kind of new with the chart, let me explain to you first that this y-axis represents its implied volatility. The y-axis represents its strike price. The bottom here represents the volume of the transactions, all right? And then the blue dot represents the put options and the red dot represents the call options. Now, as you can see here, coming from the put options, it has a higher volatility level at the lower strike price, which is around $125 to $127 strike price level. And then it stabilizes somewhere coming from the call options here, $130 level onwards, and you can see that the implied volatility value is stabilized. All right. However, you can also spot out this lower implied volatility coming from this call options somewhere around the 127 to $130 strike price level. So this indicates that, traders are expecting more movement, more risk, or more volatile, all right, coming from this stock at the price of 127 to 130, I would say, or I would say at least that at this current price, which is $127.19, which is slightly in the money calls, all right? Whereas the next one, when we look at the volume, all right, over here, you can see a noticeable spike, all right, in the call volume at around $135 strike price, while the put volume is low, all right, and it's spread across the lower strike price. Well, this high call volume of $135 would mean that some investors are really betting on possible upward move, or in other words, to say that this $135 is kind of a popular level to move from the current price. However, also that you need to note this low put volume also indicates there is a limited downside activity. So the whole thing is kind of hinting to a mildly bullish sentiment. So I would say that in summary, where a lot of traders are expecting the price will jump at the $135 level, but at the current price of $127.19 at the current stock price, you will see a lot of risk or volatility coming to the stock. You will see a lot of movement. All right. Now let's analyze further by using its implied volatility trend chart. Now, for those of you kind of new with this implied volatility trend chart, let me explain to you first that this y-axis represents its implied volatility level, whereas for the x-axis represents slightly different from the previous implied volatility chart. All right, this x-axis represents the date, all right, and then the blue color line represents the put options and the red color represents the call options. Now, as you know that these implied volatility patterns will help us as traders to give us a sense where this price might be heading. So for example, now when you take a look at these blue IV implied volatility coming from the put options, when it stay high with occasional spikes, all right? So this, I would say, indicates a signals to be cautious, or a bearish outlook potentially comes. So as investors or traders, you probably would like to pay more attention to guard against the drop. However, then when you see that this IV implied volatility starting to fall, all right, it's this means that very often means that traders and investors, they expect less volatility, which very often interpreted that market is getting more stable or a bullish market is coming. All right, so in this chart, as you can see that this call, the put and the call implied volatility are coming down together very closely. All right, so and toward the ends here, it still kind of stay low, which means suggesting that the uncertainty right now in the market is fading. All right, so this shift could be a sign that investors and traders right now are kind of feeling more optimistic with less focus on the downside protections. So by watching this IV movement, all right, I would say that this will help us as traders to time the market better. So let's take a look for this point onward. All right, if the put implied volatility remains high or getting higher, then I would say as a trader, it might be wise to delay taking bullish positions. However, if it stays still, all right, it stay low as today, all right, or the IV drops, the implied volatility drops here, then it can signal traders or investors to have a more favorable setup towards bullish strategies, as it means that, well, the perception about risk is getting less, all right? So in summary, we believe that the current condition favor more towards a bullish move, with traders generally are expecting the price to reach around $135 level. Although that coming from the option market, we also spot out that some volatility may occur at the current price point. So I would say a more risk-averse traders, they can consider or might consider entering the stock on a pullback. So that is all the analysis that I have for this Emerson Electric today. And if you believe that my sharing is useful, please give us a thumbs up, alright? Subscribe and click the notification so you don't miss out any good opportunities again. And please leave any comments below if you want me to analyze your favorite stocks whenever the opportunity comes, so I can share more smart money insight with you, alright? So see you at the next one, and trade smart.